I think we're live. Chat, are we live?
There's rumors that
Let's see here.
we're the street.
You're cutting out quite a bit. Yeah, it says we're live. What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American, back in with a new stream, and that is right, we are live on this beautiful October 20th, 2025. I hope everyone's having a great day. I'm having a great day myself, and we are joined by Mr. Oh gosh, Will Stansel.
Yo, I got my Black Studies degree on hand, ready to do some commentary on the news. Get going.
Oh my gosh, I can't. Well, listen, for those that don't know, the Will Stansel show had part 2 come out. And
if you don't know who Will Stansel is, you got some homework to do.
yeah, that's like a new meme. That's like, I don't, what do you even call like that? Like the whole like Will Stansel thing. It's like, at first I thought that the guy was like a parody, but no, he's actually real. Yeah, we have a lot to talk about today, and before we get into today's stream, don't forget to like, subscribe, share with your friends, and of course, join the channel today. These are great ways to
like
support.
the video, or I'll show up at your house.
Oh,
Just
gosh.
kidding, I won't. So like,
all right, yeah, guys, today will be a little bit of a shorter stream, so we'll go for about an hour, which is kind of where we go to, but usually we go a little bit longer, so it's a little bit shorter today. I got stuff to do. So, yeah, and of course, if you have any questions... Now, if you got any questions, concerns, or want to support the channel even further, the best way is sending super chats via the chat. Again, I'll read through as much of chat as possible, but usually super chats are the best way to get your questions answered. And already, we got a couple super chats to read. Jerry the American for 5. If you haven't already, listen to John Wayne's Why I Love America, one of the greatest actors ever, and he's celebrating the greatest country ever. All right, will do. Object Clay's Cater for 10. My bet is that Schumer will tell a handful of Democrats to vote for the CR, but not himself to save face. Probably senator from Georgia, New Hampshire, Michigan to try to help the midterms. He probably won't be the leader next term and out in 2028. Yeah, we have to talk about the shutdown thing because we're getting some interesting information that apparently the Democrats are about to fold on the shutdown.
Well, I knew they were. Like,
yeah.
Literally, this was common knowledge for a while, that they were just waiting until that stupid No Kings protest.
Oh my god.
Then they were going to fold. That was the only reason they weren't doing it. Because they didn't want to look weak in front of the No Kings. Like,
yeah, so for those that don't know, the economic advisor for the White House, Hassert, yeah, I think you say his name, yeah. He just, he went on NBC today, or MSNBC, or excuse me, CNBC, and he said that it sounds like there were sort of cracks in the Schumer armor. It sounds like they're going to agree to end the shutdown sometime this week. And a lot of Democrats, they just waited till the freaking No Kings stuff. Why?
No Kings except Burger King.
That's
Write
real.
that on a blackboard 200 times and never forget it.
Oh my gosh. It's just one of those things where it's like, it's all a scam. It's all a grift. The Democrat Party, they lost shutdown. Let's cut the shit they lost. This was pathetic. What was their, what were they trying to accomplish here? I'm still trying to figure that one out. Like, what were they trying to get out of this? Anybody know?
They were trying to think they'd get concessions. They expected us to fold. But unfortunately for them, this isn't the GOP of 2012 anymore. We're not going to fold. We're going to keep it shut down because, as it's shown, it's hurting their people a lot more than it's hurting ours.
I mean, the whole thing actually helped Republicans because guess what? Now Trump is able to fire a bunch of government employees. They're gone for good. You can't do anything about it. And like, we're cutting this budget right now as we speak, and there's nothing they can do.
Also, would like to point out that most of the Republicans in Congress gave up their salaries. The Dems didn't.
Yeah. Which
is just a fucking horrible look.
I have no, like, I'm just trying to figure out what they were trying to get concessions for. That's what I'm confused about. Like, what were they trying to get? This is the first time, like, they, at least back in, like, 2019 or whatever, it's like, back then they had, like, healthcare or stuff like that. What do they have now? Like, what were they fighting over? That's what I'm confused about. Seriously, does anybody know what concessions they were trying to get?
The healthcare for illegals.
Yeah, that's about it.
Schumer needed to do this to save face to face. I'll tell you. That's what Schumer had.
This is just stupid. I mean, like, this was a
Because
massive.
the base is so fucking rabid. Because say what you want, Schumer he's a bad. I don't like him. But he's a smart guy, which is why during the last shutdown he voted to reopen the government. But when it comes to this shit, he realized, okay, I'm smart. The base is gonna kill me if I don't shut it down. Like, that's the thing. Like, say what you want about Schumer, he's a smart guy. He's a very talented political actor. But the base hates him because the base doesn't like smart people because they're dumb.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
A couple of super chats to catch up to. K Cup for 2. Breaking Will Martin announced his bid for Wisconsin Lieutenant Governor.
I like that guy. I've met him a couple times. He's got my full endorsement. Tiffany and Will Martin's going to be the best ticket. For all Wisconsin viewers watching, vote for those two. Vote for Tiffany for governor and vote Will Martin for lieutenant.
American Nerd for 2. I was kind of hoping the Democrats keep digging that hole. Oh, they already are. I mean, this shutdown was a disaster. I mean, you guys, do you see the, what's the freaking guy from CNN? What's his name again? Harry Enton? He admitted today, it's like, yeah, this shutdown was a failure for Dems. They pull that up, actually.
And let's just say, when that guy says something's bad for the Dems, it's fucking horrible.
Yeah.
That guy's a huge lip. So.
All right, hold on. American Nerd for 2. McConnell would have folded, not Trump. Oh, yeah, he would have folded. But yeah, Trump doesn't give a shit. Object Cliss, or Jacko Max for 5. Kind of fell out of watching lately, but after seeing how unfairly YouTube treated you, the most unfair they've ever been. Jack for New Jersey. Oh, we got to talk with New Jersey. That's a big story. We'll get to that in a little bit. American Nerd for 2.
The Jews are going to save us. They're going to save Jack.
American Nerd for 2. Schumer's still going to get primaried by AOC in 28. Oh, it's going to happen. Yeah, I think he's done either way. He's going to retire, but.
Oh, no, that could be put in a toss-up. Maybe not a toss-up, but I think it could be competitive with AOC.
Yeah.
Not a good.
K-Cub for 2. Mike Johnson literally say Democrats were going to do this. Yeah, I mean, it's why Republicans did this. They knew it was going to blow up in their face. Okay, Man Milk has been a member for 27 months. AOC versus Zeldin for Senate 28. With nothing to lose, does a bitter Schumer endorse Zeldin says immoderate? No. No way. AST for 20. What do you think of Bob Williams for Florida governor? Who? I have no clue who that is.
It's me.
How's it going, Midnight?
Oh, hello.
It's going well.
For Florida, I support Byron Donalds for governor of Florida. So I would just say vote for him.
I support Casey DeSantis because I was told by cryptid politics that Byron Donalds was a woke DEI rhino.
Jeez.
Yeah, so that's what he said. He was a DEI hire, so that's what cryptid told me. So,
yeah, he knows what he's talking about.
Totally. I'm surprised that he didn't argue that I'm surprised he didn't say that he hated Byron Donald's dark vision for America, you know.
Well, I mean, remember they I forgot there's one of those asshole DeSimps who are like, ooh, the Florida Republicans, they call him the Falcon. Remember that?
Oh, I think that was that Max Twain who said that.
Oh yeah, that's who it was. That guy's a racist piece of shit. Like unironically. Yeah.
I forgot about all those people.
Well, they got
Chris
embarrassed.
Nelson, you had Max Nordo. Who else?
Peter Heimlich, is that his name? Whatever his something like that.
Yeah, Byron Donalds.
You had Bill Mitchell, but then Bill Mitchell switched over to.
Yeah, he went back from schizophrenic. He went from schizophrenic anti-Trumper to schizophrenic pro-Trumper again. That's what he did. So.
Right after he claimed the Iowa caucus was rigged. And then after DeSantis dropped out, he was like, I am fully supporting Donald John America. We must stop Nikki Haley.
That's great. American Nerd for 2. GOP should run ads for the shutdown for 26. I would say so, yeah. That was freaking stupid. It was a waste of time. I mean, it sounds like they're going to fold on anyways. So the only they did was they waited till the no Keynes bullshit and say, we stood up to Trump, and the next day, like, fuck you guys.
I heard though, they were planning on holding it open until after Virginia and New Jersey. Now I guess public opinion's turning against them.
Well, yeah, I mean we got new poll. We got Harry Enton out here he's admitting that Trump's approval has gone up post-shutdown.
I'd like to point out that Dems right now only have a 1.4 lead in the generic ballot.
Yeah.
At this point in 2021,
Let me pull this
Democrat
up.
in the White House, it was probably over 3 at this point.
Yeah, let me pull this up here because I want to prove the point that, like, Democrats are in big trouble for next year. I made a bunch of videos on this. Right now, okay, it's D plus 1.6. That is pathetic. That is sad. Compare that to, like, yeah, October 20th of 2021, Democrats led by 2. Good job. Man, that was a great shutdown, everybody. I mean, what? Did they really think this was going to go good for them? Do they really think this was a great idea?
Oh, they did.
I mean, like, a couple months ago, it was D plus what? 4 in the generic ballot? Yeah, in August, it was D plus 4.
No.
Now it's D plus 1. Bunch of idiots. It's so, I don't know. This party is
They're
just...
shitting the bed, and it might very well cost them New Jersey, and it could make Virginia. And again, Virginia, this is a race that Winsome Sears, if you would have asked me a month ago, did she have a shot? I would have said no fucking way. Now,
she has a chance.
She's probably not going to win, but there's a shot. Like that, there is a non-zero chance that Winsome Sears somehow is able to get herself into the governorship. I'm telling you that. Ignore that stupid Kaplan poll yesterday, by the way.
Oh, yeah, Kaplan's garbage.
2024 poll had Harris up in the national popular vote by 6. I don't care if their crosstabs look believable. Their ones in 24 did as well. It didn't matter. Still,
well, and I think that Kaplan poll also still had Miares winning the race too. So
yeah, Miares got it. It's over. That race is just done. Hello, John.
Hello.
From what I've seen too, Qantas didn't release a poll yet, but they're said
going to.
From what they said, it sounds like the only race that's not close at the minute is Attorney General.
Yeah, that's
so
what they
that
said.
tells you all you need to know, which means
I'll pull that tweet, by the way.
Miares will likely win by more than either Spamberger and Shami win.
Yeah, let me pull up what hold on. Let me pull up
if I recall, Trafalgar also had Miares winning by like 5, I believe.
5. He's about to crack 50%. So that race, I think, is all but over. I think that race is done. And yeah, this is what Qantas Insights posted yesterday. They said there's a real battle shaping up for the Virginia governor's race. The Attorney General contest, however, appears far less competitive. More to come soon from Qantas Insights. So I'm assuming they released their poll. It's usually probably today, I'm guessing. Maybe tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm guessing. But yeah, they're saying that the AG race is done. That race is just like, yeah, we got it. So, I mean, that was a big one I wanted to win because you want to keep Myers in there, but...
I think this will kind of end up being a reverse 2021 where Jack probably wins New Jersey and then Virginia ends up being a lot closer to people initially expected. And actually, in many ways, it could be better because we can now say, because of the RS, we'll be able to say we won statewide races in both Virginia and New Jersey. That'll be great.
Yeah,
I think
I just saw someone getting arrested on the side of the interstate. What is going on?
I do actually wonder, like, because if Jack pulls off the upset in New Jersey, like, does that mean that we could potentially gain seats in the state legislature there? That's my question.
We're certainly going to gain some there. Because Dems had a couple unexpected flips in 23. The electorate there was like D plus 20 in 2023. So I don't care what 10 Core's model says. 10 Core's model expects the public polls to overestimate Jack by 2. Okay, just completely unserious.
Hold up.
Yeah, it's gaining. Yeah,
we got breaking new poll out of Virginia from Coefficient, which is Republican pollster. They have Jay Jones only at 42%. Yeah, that race is over. They have Mears winning by 4. It's done. It's over.
What do they have for governor and lieutenant governor?
Governor, they have it within 5 now.
I'm telling you, it's going to be a within 5 race. How's lieutenant governor?
It doesn't. I don't see it. But the big number is right now. Spamberger's not cracking 50. That is not good for her. That is bad.
Not cracking 50,
Let's see here. American Nerd for 2. Government actually feels more efficient shut down. It is. That's a funny thing. It's more efficient. He was shut down forever. Jacko Max for 2. Say 53 Republicans vote for CR. What 7 Democrats likely vote yes? I'm guessing it'll be the ones that are like competitive Senate races. So I'm guessing Ossoff, I'm guessing, would vote yes. Who else?
Also, I'll say too, because some people are comparing some of these polls in Virginia to 2017. Because yes, the polls did pretty heavily overestimate Republicans there. Just like to point out though that in 2025, the early vote looks fucking amazing. Okay,
Yeah.
that's the difference. The early voting is looking very good. Christian Heinz model has it about in line with 2024. But if you look at where people are turning out, the cities aren't, and the rural areas in the eastern part of the state are. The west is lagging behind a little bit, but the east, and these are red areas, like 70-30 areas. So unless all of those are rural Dems coming out, pretty good news for Sears, if you'd ask me.
Yeah, so, but as for the senators that vote yes in CR, it would be probably like, Ossoff, Fetterman, a couple other ones, shit. Top of my head, probably like,
You'll
maybe,
probably have people like Peters, too, who are just on the way out anyway.
yeah, probably. It'd be random senators like that, couple competitive ones. It's kind of hard to tell because it seems like Democrats always prepare like who's gonna vote yes on this type of shit.
Maybe like Rosen or like
Yeah,
Cortez
Rosen, Nevada.
Masto.
Yeah.
Cortez Masto,
Yeah.
probably Gallego.
All right. Let's see here. Sand Slayer for 5. Let's just call it as it is. The Democrats run their whole party like a bunch of crazed theater kids. Well, yeah, they are the party of theater kids. I mean, it's not even a joke.
It's funny.
Seems to be completely detached from the Democrat. He's basically an independent in all but name. Yeah, he usually votes with the Dems, but it's clear like he doesn't pay attention to what the whip says. You know, he kind of just votes his own way.
Go on, Messenger.
I just think it's funny that the Democrats, what they think is going to resonate with voters is by having mass protests, like reviving Whig Party era talking points about having no kings, while they literally try to coronate Kamala Harris as the nominee last year.
Yeah, she didn't get a single vote. The primary, they get a single freaking vote. Well, the funny thing about the whole no king stuff is like they say, oh, the founding fathers, they did not want a king. Go look up what they wanted Washington as originally. Go look that one up. For those that don't know.
I mean, everybody jokes that Hamilton was basically like a closeted monarchist.
He was. He freaking was. He wanted a king and shit. I mean, it's like,
I mean, some of them didn't.
The way Hamilton phrased it, he argued different ways depending on who he was around. But the argument that Hamilton would make to the anti-federalists was basically everything that we're setting up right now eventually leads to monarchy. Why let the corruption sink in? Let's just skip to the end and then figure out how to make it good that way. That was a Hamilton's kind of argument. I don't agree with Hamilton, but that was Hamilton's argument, and it makes sense. It is coherent.
I just find it funny though. It's like they say the founding fathers were against a kid. It's like, I wouldn't go that far.
Well, basically, he threw that out, and then everybody booed at him because, like, America had been running for 2 centuries without a monarch, and everything had been chill. So everyone went, "Boo! Screw you, Hamilton!" And then the next convention he showed up at, he was like, "Well, I don't believe in those king people."
Well, and also something to keep in mind too is like the people who generally believed in like Republican forms of government of the founding fathers, they believed it was like the least bad government. Like it wasn't seen as like the ultimate virtuous government. It was more like this is the government that's least likely to screw you over, sort of thing. It wasn't this worship.
No, they didn't worship the concept of democracy. They didn't worship the concept of republics, but they understood. They had enough classical education to understand the benefits and demerits of the system. And they're like, well, we are a virtuous people. We are virtuous groups in these states, and it looks like we've been self-governing ourselves pretty darn well for 2 centuries. And most of what the crown has told us to do has been nothing but pains in the butts. We don't really need him, so let's just keep doing what we've been doing. Like again, this is like the non-revolutionary part of the revolution. This is what what people don't really like compartmentalize when they talk about the American Revolution. This wasn't like some massive change in government. This was the governments that they had been using for 2 centuries, and then they went, "Oh yeah, well, the king's just a pain in the butt. Why do we even need him?" Like that was like the thought. And it's not so people need to understand that in the concept of the American colonies, that they weren't, it wasn't a revolution of let's make an entirely new government. It was like, well, let's preserve the institutions we have now and just do it without the annoying king in the way. Like that was the idea.
Damn.
I'll
John,
say
John with the intellectual take like usual.
Yeah,
Well,
I'll
no,
say
I think that's really important because a lot of people start talking about the American Revolution like it's the French Revolution. It's
not.
not. It's not even remotely. It was a right-wing revolution, and that this is a really important point. And if people continue trying to dismantle what we were doing back then, they're missing the whole point. They were actually trying to like preserve traditions that they had brought over from the old world, and now we're tearing them apart every single day. So no, just because you like approve of government policies that sound like things the founding fathers wanted, no, they wouldn't agree with you. They would hang you outside of the city. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
No, and the thing is too, like the founders' idea of democracy that they had was a lot different. They probably prefer absolute monarchy to what we have now, where every single person over the age of 18, including felons in some states, can vote. Like they wouldn't like that system.
Well,
No,
no, like that's not even a hypothetical, Luke. You're 100% correct.
Yeah.
That was history. That was the Cavaliers. Like the people in America supported the Royalists overseas because they thought that the people trying to destroy the Royalists were gay.
If I could add one other thing too, like when we talk about like what their view of democracy would have been, it would have been direct democracy at the state level. It would have been a states' rights argument they would have appealed to, like because back then the states had more control over your life than the federal government did. So that's why control of the state legislatures mattered considerably more than like Washington a lot of the time.
Again, also just mind you, little tidbit: the Americans to win the Revolutionary War sided with an absolute monarchy. I don't know if you guys understand. Like, it's just like things everybody could know, and everybody probably does know, but they don't think about. And so those are things to consider. Absolute monarchy had a very long period of just working in Europe. And when we get to the era of the founders, it was all of the institutions were heavily dilapidated. And you can go read Jefferson. Jefferson explains like country for country, blow for blow, why every single monarchy is dysfunctional in Europe at the time that they are creating America.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that because like people never mention the fact that like, oh wait, these systems were actually stable for like 1,000 years. It's just the time the founding fathers, it's like all fell shit.
Several
like,
centuries, people admired the hyper-centralization of France to the extent that every single country for a few, like a couple hundred years, was just trying to LARP France's system. That was something like they were trying to make the royal courts. They were trying to like kind of like cattle up their aristocracy, and they were because there were all of these like measures put in place to keep the everything balanced. The monarch, the oligarchs, and the mob rule, and like the three chains of government: the people, the rich people, and then whoever's the sovereign of the state. Like all those things were actually there were checks and balances on those things in the absolute monarchy. I know that sounds crazy, but that's the way it worked.
All right, couple super chats catch up to, and we'll get back to that. American Nerd for 2. Could the Virginia race count as a reverse coattails? You can't really compare that because they're both kind of local races. So reverse coattails kind of exist for those type of races, but not the AG race for president. That doesn't happen. It's mostly like AG for governor that can happen a little bit, but. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, bringing up reverse coattails is really good because I think it's kind of like a sobriety moment for people, like kind of looking at the Virginia race. And again, my take is kind of close to Luke's, where Sears absolutely has a shot, and everybody in Virginia should activate. But I'm not going to hold my breath. I'm not going to be disappointed if she loses because I never anticipated her losing.
I mean, yeah, I still expect her to lose. I just think that like there was a shot for her that wasn't there a month ago. That's the way I
You, you know what?
We all got caught up in the idea that the Jay Jones thing was going to completely wreck Virginia, but what it may just end up, you may just see a lot of split ticketing instead of actual shifts in the lieutenant governor governor's race.
Yeah.
How's it going?
Good.
I would compare how I feel about Virginia right now to 2024 in the sense that I think it's just going to be closer, but we don't win it. Like a 4 to 5 point win
That
for
is
the
exactly-
Democrats.
That is,
I agree.
The problem is,
that's
like,
my take.
Spamberger could have won by 10, but I think that's out of the picture. Like where she was, I think a month to 2 months ago. Like the thing is with her is, I think she had the opportunity to just cut off Jay Jones. That's all she had to do. Just say, I'm not going to endorse against him, but I don't endorse them anymore. That's all she had to do, and she couldn't do it. And now here she is, and she's struggling. And I think part of the reason, from what I heard, part of the reason she hasn't disconnected him is because she's struggling with black turnout. That's the main reason she hasn't unendorsed him.
Yeah,
And I guess sticking with Jay Jones because he is black is probably how she wants to get the black turnout in Richmond.
Yeah,
or
I'm sure
whatnot.
that's gonna work.
well, I mean,
she's still gonna win Richmond. She's still gonna win Richmond by like 60 points or something. But
right.
anyways.
So I guess the point that I would make, you guys talked about the turnout, rural versus urban. I really want to see the per capita on that, like, because usually the rurals have their less masses of votes than the urban areas. I want to see the per capita on that if it's possible, but because I think that might like kind of lessen the impact of that. But basically, what Midnight said. We're going to get like a point or two to the right of the presidential election in 24 because they screwed up this campaign so badly.
Yeah.
And it's going to be embarrassing, and we're going to laugh at the Democrats. We're still going to lose the governor, maybe the lieutenant governors. We're going to keep the attorney general's seat. That's kind of where my mind is.
All right. Couple super chats to catch up to. K Cup for 2. Washington stepped away to avoid becoming a Kane. Well, yeah, he would have. If he never stepped away, he would have just been president for life. He didn't want to do that. AST for 2. Meow. American Nerd for 2. Founding Fathers were mostly against King George III. Well, yeah. Obviously. They were obviously against King George III.
Wait, they opposed the influence of King George, but they didn't fundamentally hate Britain at the core.
Yeah.
They just disliked the meddling.
Okay.
And
here's like
if you guys couldn't tell, by the way, Real Texan is here. It's me. Hello.
Hello, Texans.
Hello.
Just real quick. I think a couple of the founding fathers were calling King George III mad. They obviously thought he had some mental deficiencies. They did not like the quote unquote forever wars of their time. But the main thing to keep in mind with that is that the unchecked parliament is one of the biggest factors in King George's tension with the Americans. And some people argue if the parliament wasn't being so adamant in their enforcement in the colonies, that King George may have been able to kind of find some diplomacy with them. I don't know how much I buy that argument, but yeah, you get what I mean. It's like it's parliament bad, really corrupt, and the king probably crazy. So yeah, England
I want to bring all right. Sorry, I want to bring something up as well. I did send a New Jersey poll.
What? Oh
Did
yeah,
y'all see-
D+3. Yeah.
Yeah, that's apparently in our internal. Kind of.
Yeah, I
sorta.
saw that. It's in New Jersey a little bit. I
To
guess
be
it's something
fair,
like-
even in Jersey, our internals usually overestimate.
All right.
But
AST has joined the channel. Thank you so much. Ben said
Yeah,
it's
I just wanted to see what y'all thought about that because, like,
yeah, I think personally, it's Republican internal, but it's like it's New Jersey. Polls get really strange.
yeah, I get it. I
do
just
we
kind
want
of
to
like,
talk about the elephant in the room in Jersey, the new endorsement?
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
the Jews, yes.
We'll get to that. I got a bunch of super
That's a good
chats to catch
story.
up to. Ben said
All right,
for
I'll shut
10. The Democrats are divided, unable to formulate a strategy. The GOP was similar post 2020, but there's one key difference. Democrats have no Trump figure to rally the party, bring it back on track. Exactly. That's why the Democrats are fucked right now. They have no Trump figure. The closest they got is like what? Maybe Harris? Maybe
Newsom, arguably.
Maybe Bernie, but even then, Bernie endorsed
like
whatever.
the problem with the Bernie is like
Bernie's
he's getting
too old.
Yeah.
I think that's the only thing. Bernie's the only one that actually has a base, but the problem is that it's not sufficient enough for anyone for like his endorsement to be the end all be all.
All right.
Also, I'd like to do a public service announcement a few weeks before the election. The first votes that come out in New Jersey heavily lean Democrat. So I don't want to see anyone dooming about how Jack's going to lose by 10 plus after like 20 to 30% reporting, because it's very similar to Ohio. The votes before lean heavily Democrat. So it's going to look like he's losing by 10 to 15, but you got to be patient, okay?
Isn't most of that votes going to be from like Newark or something?
Well, yeah, but they count the early
Probably.
votes first.
Okay,
I don't know if you guys saw, but the campaign sent out Kellyanne Conway, I think, like some poll related to Kellyanne Conway.
Yeah, that's the poll I
showing...
sent. That's the Kellyanne Conway poll.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
I think the point is go out and vote. Go out and vote. Go out and vote. That's
a lot of times internals will do that. They'll show you them like barely behind so that.
They moved a decimal point so that you will go out and vote. Please go out and vote.
American Nerd for 2. They should have made Washington an HRE like emperor. Hell nah. Hell no. That would have been a disaster. Object Clays Cater for 2. U.S. allied with France, Spain, Netherlands, monarchy. Well, I wouldn't really call Netherlands had a weird system, but yeah, you had the French and the Spanish. It's like, guys, they're totally like not kings. They're totally not monarchists, everybody.
And the other thing too, like the reason why like the U.S. later sided with Britain on a lot of things is because they didn't want to piss off the British because they were a key trading partner and they were the world's leading power. Like you don't want to be on the bad side of Britain.
Yeah.
So I just want to, like, if we're going to have this conversation, I just want to point out to people the dysfunction you see in Great Britain has to do with the Parliament and the King trying to share power, and eventually one side wins. In our timeline, that was Parliament. In France, the Second Empire and the Third Republic, massive amounts of dysfunction because they can't agree where power is centered. And then the Third Republic, it's like everybody that's participating in the system is like confused as to what they even want France to be anymore. Us on the right wing, the left was a little bit more solid, but you get what I mean. Like they just had no idea what they wanted to do. Dysfunction.
Kyle Beckman for 5. My ancestor and founding father George Reed won a strong central federal government and no state government. He represented Delaware. Really, your ancestor, a founding father? That's actually kind of crazy. But yeah, there are plenty of founding fathers that are like, we want a strong central government. This idea that like they all wanted like no government at all, that's bullshit.
Yeah, the Federalist Party would like to know your location on that.
Yeah. They dominated American politics for like 10, 15 years. The first 10, 15 years, and they got killed afterwards. But yeah, so... the video maker for 5. Funny how libs/doomer cons are silent when the good news comes from Jack in New Jersey. But when a bad poll comes out, they start celebrating having Cheryl winning. Well, yeah, that's these people. American Nerd for 5. If Virginia had a running mate system, Spanberger would have picked Jane Jones to be a running mate for this election because she needs a black vote. Oh, it would have been funny if she did. And it's like they had a scandal. It's like she's on the ticket with them. They should have done that, but they don't have that system. So, American Nerd for 2. Washington could be king because he had no kids. I mean, yeah.
You don't have to have a hereditary system. That like historically, even not all systems were hereditary.
Did Hamilton want a weird like system where it's like president for life or something, right?
Well, I mean, again, I think he actually had some synergy with his opponents across the aisle in the fact that he wanted competent people to be in charge of government, and that if we were going to have a monarch, we would select a system like where competency is one of the key signatures, even if there's a hereditary element to it. They wanted there to be competency to be one of the primary considerations.
All right.
Every time we were choosing
the view maker for 5. People forget that Virginia Democrats almost nominated their own Jane Jones in the lieutenant governor primary. LeVar Stoney, unformed unpopular Richmond mayor, lost by 1%. Boy, the current guy's not that strong either, but John Reed's John Reed. So, but okay, let's talk about New Jersey because there was a pretty big announcement that came out of nowhere yesterday in New Jersey. So, can somebody explain how do you pronounce it? Is it VOD?
VAD, something, I don't know, but the Jews are endorsing Jack.
Yeah. So basically you have the Jews backing Jack's Generelli.
Well, specifically the Orthodox bloc.
And that's a big thing because...
And here's the thing, when the Orthodox when their leader tells them to vote a certain way, they vote that way. And you know what it also does? Boosts turnout for this group.
Yeah.
So you're going to see this group turn out at near 24 levels. And like even Tenkor, who was a Bramnik bro, and he really wants Jack to lose because he thinks Jack is too MAGA for Jersey or some shit. Even he said, like, this is going to immediately add, like, 40 to 50,000 votes to Jack. So if this is really a tight race, this could be the deciding fact.
And
The other
forget-
thing is the other thing you got to remember, they endorsed Phil Murphy in 2021.
Yeah, he barely won.
And I should also mention some of the like very heavily Orthodox Jewish cities in New Jersey were a lot closer in 2021 than they were in 2024. Like, I think Jack still won them by like but his vote total was like in the 60s, whereas Trump got in like the upper 80s.
Yeah, he's gonna get like 90% here.
Now, not specifically with the Jews, but I think it might have been with other races involved. I mean, like, I think
Indians,
Passaic,
Hispanics,
Passaic, New Jersey,
Italians.
Lakewood Township, that sort of stuff.
Oh God, what is the margin in Ocean gonna be? Holy
Oh
shit.
my god!
I should mention Trump and Jack did about the same. Trump 2024 and Jack 2021 basically did the exact same in Ocean. So
God, how
if you
much is it
factor,
gonna be now?
I could see Jack getting over 70%. And in a massive county like Ocean, that's huge. Because it is one of the reddest counties in the country just based off sheer votes.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest Republican nets of votes.
All
yeah,
right,
it's kind of like Montgomery County in Texas, Miami-Dade, Utah County, etc.
American Nerve for 2. Hamilton 1 is set up to be the House of Lords of sorts. Kind of. Not. I don't know. I don't know if that's
the Senate originally like wasn't directly voted on because it was appointed by the state legislatures.
Yeah,
so.
state legislators, which is that should be the system, by the way. The fact they changed this. Yeah.
The important thing about the system is that we didn't tell the states how to choose their senators, and that means that the people of each state were responsible for having their state government select competent people, and they didn't necessarily have to be elected. You know, they could just appoint the best legal minds in their state, and guess what? But when they implemented the 17th Amendment, the quality of every single piece of legislation that passed through the Senate went down dramatically, not even like over time, like gradually. It was an instant shift downward. It went from high quality documents to low quality documents because we decided, oh, we need to elect senators. Yeah, no.
Yeah, it's stupid.
I'd like to point out, I support the direct election of senators for one reason. It makes election predicting a lot more.
No, I think just like for everything, we should have no we should have no direct election of senators. That's my take.
We should have no elections. Period.
Yeah, it's all appointed by a shitty committee.
That's so true.
But seriously, like the state legislators should decide like the senators. That's my opinion. I think that's what the system was meant to be. And obviously,
and if you don't like the senators your governor appoints, then you elect a different governor. You can still change. You still can change things with the vote, but you get indirect, and you don't have to sit there and sift through someone's portfolio. Oh, well, is this guy actually really good at like writing legislation? Is he very familiar with the Constitution? Like you don't have to do that. You just you elect the guy who is smart enough to do that for you.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that should be the current system.
And the Senate was by design supposed to be more elitist, where the House was supposed to be more, less elitist because it's the House of Representatives, those who are representing the people.
Schizophrenic place where all the schizo.
Yeah, well, yeah, the Senate's supposed to be like.
To be fair, we don't really have any schizo senators.
That's true. Well, because they're all old and like dying. So. Yeah. Anyways,
what is the average age of the Senate?
Oh my gosh, it's gotta be like
probably 60
60
or 70.
We're in the 60s or 70s. By the way, check out the tweet I just sent.
Is that a 6-7 rough?
By the way, check out the tweet I just sent. Seems like somebody in the Chiarelli camp isn't happy about the VAT endorsement.
Well, that turned. Oh my gosh, what the hell? What is this?
That's definitely that's like your average Patterson for president.
Oh my gosh. Chinevrelli's executive director for Muslim relations, Dr. Ibrar Nadim, introduced to Chinevrelli, says he wants a ban on same-sex marriage and insists he isn't taking money from Jews.
What the fuck? Who is
That's-
this guy?
He's the executive director for Muslim relations.
That's the two factions
Why is
of
it a thing?
ladies and gentlemen, this is the two factions of Trump's Passaic County voter base.
Coalition.
Imagine like simultaneously doing better with Jews and Muslims. How do you do
Well,
it?
Again, that's what Democrats do that for years. Remember, they had to do like go to the Jew. Well, most Jews, Orthodox Jews, were always more conservative, but like in general, it's like they found a way to like do good with both. But now it's like they're doing shit with both of them now. So yeah, the problem having to appeal to Muslims. Yeah, that's a problem with like you have to be like super conservative on some stuff, and well, yeah. Oh my gosh, he's gonna get like 80% of the vote, isn't he, in Patterson?
Based. I am now licensed.
He's the
Texas.
one Passaic County in a landslide.
Yeah, it's like
even
downtown,
better
like
than
Patterson's like 90% Chinevrelli.
That would be a massive swing if he's getting like that much in Patterson. He's winning Passaic by like
I want to see
20
it.
or something.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the issue with the coalition, though. It's like you got to have a very tight rope. Trump was able to do so, and I think he won big time with the end of the war in Gaza, well, mostly. I know people are panicking right now about the stuff that happened 2 days ago, but here's basically a nutshell. What happened is some dumbass settler was trying to bulldoze something, and then frickin' Hamas thought they got attacked, and then they bombed each other. Yeah, it's a bunch of idiots fighting. That's basically what it came down to.
Remember, low IQ, neurotic, like chimps with assault rifles. Okay.
Update the he in that tweet meant Nadeem, not Chinevrelli.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So Nadeem wants to ban same-sex marriage and isn't taking money from you.
It's over. It's over. Okay. I have even had people in my server like freaking out about this. Listen, they have no leverage. There's no leverage. The only thing that can happen now is Hamas is dumb enough to get themselves all completely like wiped out.
Yeah.
That is the only thing that can happen from here on out. Don't worry about it. The actual political side of it's over. It's just like
and because the hostages have been returned now, so
they have no leverage.
Like the leverage is done.
There's no leverage. Again, it just both sides are so freaking they want to kill each other so much, but it's like now it's like no, everybody's sick of this shit. Even Trump told like Netanyahu to go fuck himself. So that's what happened. That's not a good look for a ceasefire. Well, guys, people understand about these ceasefires. This shit happens all the time with ceasefires. It happens. Like fights still keep going sometimes.
That happened with the Korean War for like where nobody was attacking for like 50 or 60 years.
Yeah, just like ceasefire sometimes like they don't fall through, but like sometimes have like hiccups because it's still a mess. So I'm not too worried about it.
Because Trump technically ended the Korean War.
Oh, that's true. American order for 2, send Tony Blair ASAP before they violate it again. How about no? But yeah, it's one of those things where it's like Trump's got it basically dealt with. Again, we'll see. Maybe it doesn't, but yeah. All right. The sad thing is the Democrat base is probably hoping that the ceasefire is broken. Oh yeah, they want the peace here to fail. They want people to die. They'll be like, "See, we told you, Trump cannot promote peace," even though our candidates like wanted to like keep the war in Russia going. So yeah. The whole war is a bunch of idiots fighting. Well, yeah, that's always been the war in a nutshell. You have a dumbass like radical faction of Muslims fighting a dumbass like government in Israel. So it's like both sides lose. That's what should happen. Both sides should lose, but can't have that. All right. Have there been a hiccup in every ceasefire this year? Yeah. Actually, the one in India. People forget about that one. The one between Pakistan and India. I think there was there were additional bombings. I think after the fact. So it happens. All right. Do we miss anything?
Do we want to talk about some of Thomas Massey's interesting people that have endorsed him?
I have an article coming out soon with America First Insight on this thing.
Okay.
I'm gonna save some of it, but guys, listen, I'm getting sick and tired of the Thomas Massey shilling. I'm getting sick and tired of this shit, guys. You are considered like a Zionist if you're opposing Thomas Massey. That's who these people are at this point. It's like, oh, if you oppose Thomas Massey, you're like a Zionist and stuff.
So that means when he runs for president in 2028 stuff. Sorry. That means when he runs for president in 2028, only 2% of people in the country are Zionists.
Yeah.
In his view.
Look, guys, look, if you want like proof this whole like, oh, he doesn't take money for AIPAC, which is a good thing. Like, listen, yes, it's true. He doesn't take money from AIPAC. That's good. And some of his foreign policy stuff, it is good. But I still think it's a bit too isolationist, but still, it's like mostly good stuff. But it's like, guys, this idea that he takes no money from the pro-Israeli lobbies bullshit. Look up his biggest donor. Everybody should look this up. What's his name? Like Jeffrey Yass, right? Yes.
His first name is Jeff. I forget what his last name
It's like
is.
Yass, I think. But this freaking dude, right? Jeffrey Yass. Yeah, it's Jeff Yass. And like he's a libertarian and stuff. But he is like one of the biggest Zionist donors in America. He spends hundreds of millions of dollars on these groups and like anti-Muslim stuff. He is like spending, and he's like the biggest donor for Thomas Massey. It's like, guys, he's getting money. I'm not saying directly from AIPAC, but it's like, you look up who's actually supporting him, and you'll realize, oh, he's full of shit. He's a liar. Again, it's good. I applaud him for not taking money for AIPAC, but.
And this is what some people forget. Like people think that AIPAC is like the only Israel lobby in the country, and that's not true. It's the big. Well, actually, I think technically Christians United for Israel is technically bigger than AIPAC, but AIPAC's just one of the most influential of them. There's like left-wing Zionist lobbying groups. There's more right-wing Zionist lobbying groups, and then more individual donors who are more Zionist.
Yeah, so it's like, again, like this whole thing is like a LARP. Like if you include all that, Thomas Massey's, and like he's getting hundreds of thousands of dollars each year in like a deep red state or Commonwealth, I should say. Like he's an R plus 50 seat or whatever, and he's getting this much money.
Well, and also he's raised like I think $500,000. I think only $22,000 of that was actually coming from Kentucky. Most of it was coming from outside of the state.
Yeah, so again, like I'm not saying like he's bad because of foreign policy, and that's a straw man they use. They say, well, you don't like Thomas Massey, it's because you're a Zionist. No, it's because he's a freaking grandstander. He doesn't. What does he do in Congress? To this day, I still have yet to. Has he passed a single bill ever? Anything to note?
I just voted no on everything.
Yeah, in fact, the one time he did have power to influence stuff, he voted yes in the freaking Biden budget. Ever forget about that one? He voted for the was it the CR in 23? Was it?
Yes.
It was a 7-6 vote in the committee. He would have voted no. It would have killed it, and they could have had influence. And he voted yes. So yeah. Anyways, Eli for 65. Gustav III in Sweden was a popular populist king and our last real monarch. Liberated us from a corrupt aristocracy who shot him and took over. Oof. American Earth for 2. Has Trump found a Massey challenger yet? Yeah, it's a Navy SEAL, I think.
Ed Galrine.
Yeah. Sports Talk Live for 10. It is rumored next week he will be the release of the 9/11 files. I doubt you'll see a firestorm for Congress about it because that would be the end of Schumer if he said anything. Well, guys, it's going to be a nothing burger. Every time these files are coming out, guys, the JFK files are coming out and it proves nothing. So.
Or it's just stuff that we already know.
Yeah. The Video Maker for 2, K-Cub for 2, K-Cub for 5, K-Cub for 1 million. Yeah.
American Nerd for 2, American Nerd for 2, American Nerd for 2, American Nerd for 2.
Yeah.
We love you, American. We love you, American Nerd. Keep sending your twos.
All right.
Give us all the twos you have.
There will be an American First article coming out, American First Insight article coming out soon about Thomas Massey because, boy, I done some research and it's bullshit. A lot. Again, you can praise him. Like, no one's questioning, like, okay, let's take money for AIPAC. Why is it the number one thing for these people? It's like he doesn't take money for AIPAC. Okay, good. That doesn't mean he's not getting money at all. In fact, he's getting suspicious amounts from a big donor that's pro like a Zionist. So, American Nerd for 6. Imagine Massey drops out out of the GOP primary to run as a libertarian in order to split the Republican vote just to screw Trump over. Well, he would get more Democrats vote for him. So, K Cup for 2. The F did I do video maker? Oh gosh. Okay. So if anyone got any more super chats, any more questions, concerns, whatever, send them now. Last calls for super chats because I do gotta go in a little bit. It's a quicker stream, so got some stuff to do. So yeah, I think we talked about everything, right? Shirley, I think so.
I think those were,
dude,
I think
hold
those
on,
were most of the big stories.
Give me a second. I got something.
Massey is a broken clock. He's running like 2 big issues. Yeah, it's foreign policy and I don't know, like the
Israel.
Well, that's foreign policy, but like maybe like the surveillance state, maybe like the Patriot Act and stuff like that. Fine, but it's like if you're shit on everything else, who cares?
We just actually got a big breaking news. The national average gas prices fall below $3 per gallon, lowest since 2020.
Standing ovation. Yes.
Check out what I sent. Check out what I sent too.
It's still like $5 in like California, but damn it, it's going down.
Yeah, that's the lowest it's gonna get. That's the lowest it's gonna get there.
I saw $2.49 the other day. And I'm like really close to the beach, so that's crazy gas price.
Jacko Max for 5. Why is it Republicans a deep right in Kentucky uniquely suck? Rand Paul, Massey, McConnell, a solid Republican like this should have some of the best senators. Yeah. Well, it's because
Rap, check out what I sent.
I'm getting that. Calm down.
Oh, sorry.
But I'm just saying, like, yeah, Kentucky just is a weird state. Like, they get shit Republicans, you can't get rid of them. Okay, yeah. What is this? What is this?
Oh, this is very similar to when Flores had the one picture of her, like where she's like talking about her cooking, and then it turns out like that actually like wasn't her cooking the food.
My! She bought a ticket to freaking Disney World with campaign funds.
Yeah,
Great.
Why did she die? She fly through from Dallas to Love Field. She's in fucking Brownsville. Why did she go to Dallas?
The hell is this? Let me pull this up. Okay. What the hell? So she used campaign funds to go to Disney World. And it's right here. She used, Southwest Airlines. Oh my gosh. $634 for a ticket. What the hell did you fly in?
Look,
must have flown in first class.
They have to campaign at Disney World because all their voters are imaginary.
Yeah, that's.
My gosh! So you're telling me she flew from Texas to Florida and it was $634 for first class? Oh my gosh! This is why we can't have nice things. K Cup for 2. Gas to go below $2.50 in the Fox Valley. Let's effing go. Mega Bears for 2. I mean, local gas station's like $2.40. Yeah, gas is going way down. That's good.
By the way, if Myra Flores loses this year, she's gonna run the next time.
Oh, God help us all.
Tex becomes a perennial candidate.
Yeah. Tex Rex for 2. Opinion of James II, the last Catholic king of England. I really don't know enough about him. So I can't really say anything about him. So. Southwest, at least she's saving money. That's saving money, $634 for one. Well, I'm just saying, surely it's not one ticket. Surely it's like 3 or 4.
I don't even know if Southwest has first class.
How do you spend that much on a single plane ticket?
Must have been like peak season or something.
It's $634. It's the middle of summer.
Maybe she drank a bunch of wine or something on the flight.
That has to be the case.
I mean, if it's the middle of summer, and that's usually when you have a lot of people from Dallas going to Orlando.
Yeah, but still, I don't know. K Cup for 2. If you go to Disney, visit the Hall President right now.
By the way, the main thing to understand about James II, the guy that I was asking, is that it's less about the religious stuff. It's less about everything else. He was trying to kind of impose a more like continental European system onto people in Britain, and that's not the way that they worked. It's not the way that they thought. They were very repulsively rejecting towards it. Obviously, the Glorious Revolution of 1688 was one of the worst things to happen in the United Kingdom, in Great Britain. But I understand why it happened, and it was mostly because James II he wasn't he was trying to change Britain in a way that it wasn't supposed to be.
Yeah.
That's James II.
Yeah, again, I just don't know enough about the like monarchist stuff. I know some, obviously, you know, like the big names I know, but it's like James II, I don't really know. So
like there's more particular details. There's some military action that people didn't like. He was trying to promote Catholic tolerance in Britain, which is the reason that you might like him. But the thing was, he was trying to bring centralism to a heavily to a system that was very obsessed with decentralization.
Well, in England, England had been kind of struggling for at least a couple hundred years at that point between like very pro-Catholic groups versus very pro-Puritan groups that were trying to steer the Anglican Church in like one direction or the other. Which is why America became very Puritan, because it was Puritan pilgrims going over to avoid like potential like oppression from like Catholic rule and so forth, or other
All right.
Protestant rules.
Yeah. We got a couple other stories here. Yes.
No, I
Tyrone's the tweet of thing.
What the hell was
And
that?
then there's also the Wisconsin third poll with
Wisconsin
Rebecca
third, yeah,
Kirk
it's just
leading.
it's Derek Van Orden down by 2. I'm not gonna really get into that.
It's Triple P.
I really got like I can only do one more thing. I gotta go in. Tyler T for 2. If you want to save money, fly Spirit Airlines. Yeah, just do anything else.
No, never.
Check the group chat.
Oh my gosh, what did oh god.
Is that the Vivek tweets?
Yeah, we're going over that. The I don't look at congressional polls. I think they're just shit. Anyways, so okay, happy. What the hell is Diwali?
It's an Indian holiday.
Yeah, it's a Hindu holiday, I think.
Of course.
Yeah, I think tomorrow or something.
We'll be very happy if you celebrate it several thousand miles away from us.
Yeah.
Yeah. We are a Christian country. We're not this shit. So.
Oh, sorry. It's a Sikh holiday. Never mind. I thought it was a Hindu
whatever.
holiday.
Listen, at this point, it's like, okay, whatever. It's India.
I am seeking their removal from the country.
Yeah.
The video maker for 2. Oh, that's a good question. Thoughts on Orthodox Christianity? Well, obviously, John's Orthodox, so I have no issues with Orthodox. I have no issues with them.
Yeah. Like and here's the big thing. I'm really happy and excited for people to get into Orthodoxy. I'm always happy to talk to people at Real John Rose, or you can even DM me on Discord. It's just Rain and Dixie, with all lowercase. But like the thing is like you have to be chill. That's like one of the biggest mistakes of any Catholic or Orthodox or anybody that's like really into religion online. If you're not chill and you're just not respectful to other people, then yeah, you will find friends. You will have a friend group. You'll have a clique. You'll be the most insufferable human being on the planet, and you will turn several people away from Christ. But you know, I guess I say that just because like there's a lot of problems with the online community. But you know, always happy to talk about it. Always happy to talk to people about actual orthodoxy.
Yeah, because there are some that just like push horse shit. It's not actual orthodoxy. Yep. Just it's. I don't know what it is. I don't know what you call it.
Well, it's beyond that. It's just like petty squabbles. Everybody wants to be right. Everybody wants to have the most correct theology. None of it's all bullshit.
Tex Rex for 2. Thoughts on Queen Mary I of England. Don't know enough about her. So, but yeah, as for the Orthodox, I guess that's a question directed for me. You know, my opinion is obviously I'm Catholic, but you know I have nothing against Orthodox Christians. I consider them brothers of Christ. So, yeah. And I do like the aesthetics of Orthodoxy, so I'll say that.
Yay!
I always loved the just the style, like the aesthetics of it.
Orthodox hymns, I think, are very beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and if you're Catholic, I do like really but while they are still around you, go to your traditional Catholic mass. You know, there's a lot of things to love and appreciate, but I think everybody benefits from having a connection to the way that we worshipped for a very long time. And for Latin Mass, that's like 1400 years. For the Orthodox liturgy, it's like 1600, 1700 years, depending on where you want to start. It's it's really good stuff, and it helps you understand the mind of the people we came from. So
Yeah,
please go to your Latin mass, go to your Byzantine church, go to Orthodox parishes, also become Orthodox Christian. But that's just like a side thing.
yeah, just this. Yeah, become Catholic actually. But yeah, again, I'm fine with Orthodoxy. You know, I don't have really the issues with Orthodoxy Catholicism. I don't consider them like obviously they're kind of big, but like they're not like I don't know. It's not like with Protestantism where I have some issues with.
In
but-
the United States of America, we have no reason to be at each other's throats. Most of the time, Protestants can't even tell the difference, so who cares?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like Protestants, they can't even tell the difference. Like what Protestants
As
have lots
as
of problems.
as an evangelical, I would not have been able to tell you the difference until like 4 years ago.
Yeah, it's very hard to tell the difference. There's some obviously, but it's not not as big as like Protestantism was. Which again, I have some huge issues with. Not that they're not Christian, but I just think like some of the stuff is just wrong. But yeah. Anyways, anyone got more super chats? Because I do gotta get going. Based statement by John Rose. Yeah, pretty based.
Yeah.
People online are annoying and toxic. Color me shocked. Yeah, I mean, just like that's every community, but I've noticed like there's some that are just like religiously it gets really bad.
Well, yeah, like there's really bad Reformed Protestants, there's really bad Catholics, there's really bad Orthodox, and like it's just basically anybody that gets really fervently into the zealot range, where like they just they're doing everything they can to make you know that they're right about everything, and that they have the best religion ever. I love the fire. I love the love for the Lord. I do not appreciate the way that they speak to other people, because it just pushes people away. It's pushed so many people away.
One thing that's interesting about that is it's usually the recent converts that are the most likely to be like that.
Oh no,
Yeah,
no,
true.
no. I will tell you something. I have a friend, both me and my friend are received Orthodox Christians. We are in the church, we've been in the church for years, and he was having a purity test be done to him by catechumens, people not in the church, people learning to be in the church, did a purity test. They did a religious purity test, then they did an ethnic purity test, and then like they started judging his hobbies and all this other shit. Don't do that. Don't okay, like the hobbies you can criticize are the ones that involve, bad material.
Debauchery.
Like the debauchery and degeneracy, but no, like you're going around as a catechumen trying to bully received and cradle Orthodox Christians or Catholics or whatever.
Yeah,
Bro,
I hate that.
Where are you? No. Well, here's what'll happen. If I learn who you are, I'm going to contact your priest and I'm going to have you immediately disciplined, because that's not how things work in the Orthodox Church. You get disciplined for going around and speaking out of order and not understanding the virtue of obedience, not understanding what your place in the world. I'm going to have your priest teach you. I'm going to have your deacon teach you. I'm going to have you on your knees. You're going to get slapped with the stick. You need to get in line. That is not how we roll. And honestly, just like it's just better. Just be courteous and kind to everyone.
Yeah.
That is what the Lord wants from you. So
Obviously, ask
please,
questions if you do.
Chill, please.
If you do got questions, ask them, but don't go around saying like you know more than like people have been to the church for their entire lives or whatever. It's like that. That's not cool, bud. The video maker for 2. What Orthodox sect is John Rose a part of?
Okay, so there's so there's a couple of sects that are called Orthodox, but there's only one Orthodox sect, and that is the Orthodox Catholic Church. It is a communion of 250 million people. It's the second largest if you don't count Pentecostals. It's third largest if you do. Um, the Orthodox Catholic Church is all those churches: Greeks, Serbians, Russians, Romanians, Bulgarians, blah blah blah. There's people called Orientals. Those people split from both Orthodox and Catholics about 1,500 years ago. So they're an entirely different group of people. They were separated from us 500 years longer than anybody else in the church. And they're usually from Egypt, from Syria, like from kind of some of these more Arabic, Middle Eastern places. And they're sometimes called non-Chalcedonians. I know that's a big word, but that's what Orientals are. They're like, I think, between 60 and 80 million. And then there's the only other sect is Church of the East, which is like small, obscure. You're never going to hear about them, but they're Nestorians, and so they're even more ancient heretics.
Isn't that like the Church of Assyria? Isn't that what they're also called?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the ones that went far east.
Yeah, it was kind of wacky and some of the stuff they believe, but
So those guys rejected the Third Ecumenical Council. The Orientals rejected the Fourth. You get the point. It was a really, really long time ago.
Yeah.
Orthodoxy is one sect. We just have a different kind of communion. and I'm not gonna like sit here and explain the entire thing on Rap's program, but basically, we do not have the same concept of vertical communion that's in Roman Catholicism, where if the Pope says you're not part of the church, you're not part of the church.
Yeah, it's a
Like
little
that
bit.
is kind of like that's the end. Like if the Pope says no, you're gone. But in Orthodoxy, we have kind of a lateral communion where people recognize each other as legitimate churches, but then they have squabbles, they have conflicts that are broken and then restored, but they all remain one whole because they're in communion with all of the other local churches.
Okay, one
Okay.
more super chat and one more question I'll answer. Jared the American for 2. John, what is your Discord again so I can add you? That's for John Rose.
I'll put it in chat so that you guys can grab it right before
And
the stream
Wha-
ends.
One more super chat. Actually, Jared the American, maybe you can just DM on Twitter. You want to get his Discord?
You
Maybe
can
best.
DM me at Real John Rose, but I really don't look at my Twitter stuff. There's Rain
Okay.
and Dixie. That's my Discord. I look at Discord like a lot because it's where I contact
Yeah.
people.
Uh,
But also keep in mind I have a full-time job and I'm gonna be working like
Yeah,
60,
it's-
70 hours
he
a week for
works.
the next couple months.
it's just a job, people.
So if I don't reply to you immediately, it's not because I hate you or because I'm never going to reply to you. It's because I'm talking to some old person. Like just chill out, and I'll get in touch with you. Okay.
Yeah, okay, one more super chat, then or actually one more question somebody answered. Rap, do you think there is one correct version of Christianity? Well, obviously I'm Catholic, so that's one answer. But my opinion is like there's variation to like how close you are to like the correct version, I guess, of Christianity, and like how far away you are. That's my take on it. So like Orthodoxy, I consider like basically the correct. Just
Well, right.
squabbles.
We recognize the truth in each other's communions, but it's really important not to go into that moral relativism stuff. That's the
Yeah,
stuff the left's telling you.
yeah.
The
So some of the
left
stuff
wants
is
you the left wants you to think there's no real truth, but there is a real truth, and we can argue about it, and we can argue about it in a way that is pleasing to God.
yeah.
Just don't. Just if you're chill, we can talk about it. Okay.
Yeah, just like I'm not gonna get it like a debatable like the Pope is actually a real thing like because or that's a
Yeah.
we're not that's a different story, but yeah, so yeah, that's my take. Obviously there's ones farther away like ones I don't consider Christians like Mormons or Jehovah's Witnesses. They're not Christians because they deny the Trinity. So yeah. Anyways, enough of that. I do gotta go, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy today's stream, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, and of course, join the channel today. I do gotta get going. Thank you all so much. Godspeed.